Hi everyone, you reached Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. For all of you out there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. Hit the like button, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. And share my video with your friends and family so that they can come to my channel and get to know me also. I'm here today with a quick recap on the Real Housewives of Potomac, the reunion, and this is part 3. I believe I said it in part 1, my recap, and my recap for part 2. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to say this again in my recap for part 3. This reunion at best should have been a 2-hour special. And, you know, to give them some wiggle room, I'm saying 2 hours, but really they probably could have wrapped it up in 1.5 hours, okay? 1.5 hours. But anyway, they're dragging it out for 4 parts. I don't know why, see why, or understand why. Part 3 was pretty, it flatlined for me. It was nothing big. It was no, you know, wow and whoa moments. And maybe if we didn't hear about it, maybe if they kept it under wraps, you know, that Nicki Minaj was going to show up, maybe I would have been shocked and surprised. But because they already let the cat out the bag and we kind of was waiting for her to show up and come, it wasn't a wow moment for me. It was like, all right, so Nicki has arrived. So what did we get from Reunion Part 3? Well, they started the conversation off. We're talking about this whole plastic surgery situation and the storyline that kind of impacted Wendy this season. She was pissed that the ladies pretty much were saying, you know, she's not the same Wendy. She's different because she has had this plastic surgery and we're not seeing, you know, again, I'm paraphrasing, what they're saying is we're not seeing the substance, the Dr. Wendy. We're not seeing the Wendy that is a commentator on, you know, these different important news channels. They're saying we're seeing a drop it low, pop it why type of situation with Wendy. So that kind of pissed her off. But it really pissed her off that Giselle, you know, kind of alluded to the fact that maybe Wendy got all of this surgery to keep her man. So Wendy says to Giselle, you got a tummy tuck, but you still couldn't keep Jamal. So why are we here? Why are we talking about this? You should know, and you shouldn't put out this narrative that I had surgery just because I wanted to keep a man. You know, she's saying she had the surgery for self. And listen, I'm here for what people want to do to improve self. Am I a big proponent of all of this plastic surgery, especially because it could be so dangerous? Absolutely not. But I will say this. Wendy did say, either in part 1 or part 2, I can't remember at this point, that people should research their doctor, not take and make this decision lightly. They should make sure that if they go into this, they fully know what they're getting themselves into and what they are doing. I also feel like that Andy had to dig down in the bottom of the barrel of the basket to find some information so that he can talk to Giselle and Robin. Because literally, if he didn't drag up old stuff, okay, or stuff that we are tired of hearing because we know that we're not going to get a different answer, there would have been no need at this reunion to talk to Giselle or Robin. All right. So anyway, let's carry on. You know, the question comes up about Juan. The question came up for Robin about her business Embellish and why she was not answering Macy's, TJ Maxx, and all of these other wonderful stores or franchises, for lack of a better word, you know, that want her hats or her line in their store. I do like her answer. She pretty much said, look, I am killing it on my own. Okay, on my own, the money I got from Embellish, I was able to put a down payment on my house, pay off my back taxes. And I do understand that, you know, it's all of this markup if she goes into, you know, a Macy's or a TJ Maxx. So now instead of her getting, let's just say she's making a 75% profit selling it on her own online, that is going to cut her down. If she sells it in one of these stores, maybe her profit is going to end up being 50% or 25%. Listen, I'm not in business, so I can't say, you know, left, right, either way. But my thought process would be her getting into these stores would open her life to a different customer, because maybe, and I'm not positive, maybe right now all of her customers are limited to the fans of RHOP. Okay, and I'm saying RHOP, forgive me guys, I'm mixing up my housewives. Maybe all of her customers are currently fans of the Housewives series and the Real Housewives of Potomac. Maybe she needs to take a little hit, get in these stores, and then expand her customer base to some people outside of the ones that know her only from the franchise. That's my thought, but I totally understand if she said that she is killing it without being in these stores, well, then she should carry on because she's doing very well. If you're able to pay your back taxes, put a down payment on a beautiful home, then hey, roll with it, continue on. You seem to be doing pretty well. They touched on the fact of her being depressed. I do admire and commend Robin for bringing that to the forefront on such a large platform, because so many people deal with depression in secret. And the more we talk about something, we kind of normalize it. And when you normalize a topic like that and let people know that it is okay to have these feelings, but get some help, I think you open the door to help a lot of people. So I appreciate that. Of course, the topic comes up about, you know, Robin and Juan, and will they ever get married? And, you know, Robin pretty much said maybe next year. She doesn't know. You know, Messy Andy, he said to Ashley, why does Michael feel and always says that, you know, they're not getting married? Ashley came up with her concocted story of, you know, they've been together so long. That's why he feels like they're not going to get married. Ashley, stop it. If Juan said to Robin, you know, he got down on one knee and proposed to her yet again, you know, I'm saying yet again because they were married before and divorced, right? So this is his second time proposing to her, saying he wants to remarry. Why go through the big production of proposing to her, having this sort of kind of engagement party, if this is not what you want to do anytime soon? Don't bamboozle us, you know, on the show and give us this whole production and then don't give us a wedding the next year. And a wedding doesn't have to be a grand production, you know, like the Grand Dame did for her vow renewal. It could be something simple in your new home, in your living room, with a close 10 to 15 friends, or in your backyard, and y'all just say, I do. I'm waiting on it. I got a bet with a girlfriend. Just put a Starbucks on it, you know, a cup of coffee. I don't think that we're going to see this wedding anytime soon. Now, because I say I don't think I'm going to see it, that doesn't mean I'm wishing bad juju on them. That doesn't mean that I don't want to see them get married. I 100 wholeheartedly want to see them get married. I don't like the idea of them planning to have a baby but not be married. That doesn't make sense to me in this stage of the game. But hey, it's them. They can do what they want to do. But if we do see a wedding, I'm starting to feel like Michael Darby, I don't think it's gonna happen. But hey, my girlfriend says she thinks next year. At best, I say 2 years, but if it doesn't happen next season, I'll meet my girlfriend at the Starbucks and she's going to get me, and I said coffee, but I love tea and I love a chai tea latte, and she's going to owe me a latte. But that's pretty much it with Robin, Juan, and that whole debacle. Or actually, before I move off of them, I will say I like the little shade Andy gave. He said that Juan and Michael have Reunion-itis, okay? Because they never, or they haven't lately for the last 2 seasons, showed up for the reunion. I'm calling it Reunion-itis, okay? Because on one side of the couch where we had Wendy, Karen, and Mia, all the husbands was there. On the other side of the couch, and as much as they want to talk about her man, but no matter how bad they drag him, what he goes through, that man shows up for her at every reunion. And so on the other side of the couch, we have Giselle, no shade, but no man. We have Robin, again, no shade, but no man. And then we have Ashley, no shade, but no man. And then we have Candace. And who was behind her? The man that they always want to talk about, okay? The husband they always want to drag for filth. The husband they claim that is riding off of her coattails. But hey, guess what? That's the man that no matter what they go through all season, they think it's these, and he shows up for the reunion. So I don't care how you feel about Chris, okay? Give it up to Chris. Because guess what? He was standing or sitting by his woman. And actually, the way they had to kind of place him, they placed him where he was kind of like more towards Robin's side than Candace, because they needed to try to even out the playing field on that side, because he was the only husband on that side of the couch. So let's move on. So now we have Dorothy calls. Miss Dorothy. You know, Bravo can probably do a whole little special or series on the moms of Bravo, okay? No matter what show it is, they should do a whole Mom Bravo little special, and where they talk to all the moms. Because, honey, some of these moms are a little something else, okay? So, Miss Dorothy calls. And excuse me, I think Miss Dorothy, she loves the energy. She loves to hear her name. She loves being in the limelight, and she loves being talked about. And again, you know what? To go back to Chris a little bit, he's a good sport, because he takes a beating from every which way he can, and he still stands up and shows up, okay? So Miss Dorothy claims maybe she will apologize. I think her phone call, it wasn't necessary, but hey, she called. And I will say this, they should have brought Miss Dorothy to the reunion, and maybe this would have been a little bit fun. We should have had Miss Nicki Minaj, okay? She called herself Indiana. We should have had her talk to Miss Dorothy. I would love to know what Nicki would have had to say to Miss Dorothy. So let's move on. Let me go back again to Chris, which this I sort of felt was a little bit odd, because, you know, they did ask Robin, or Andy asked Robin, you know, are you tired of defending Juan for never showing up for you and, you know, never being there for you? And so Robin pretty much said that, you know, Juan is not an entrepreneur. He has to work, and he is a coach. And Chris was defending her to no end, saying, yes, basketball is year-round. He always has to be there. And I found that odd. And Wendy throws in, so he can never take a day off. And, you know, pretty much Robin was like, no. Okay. So I do get it. I'm not a huge sports girl, but I can respect and understand what Robin was saying. However, you never, ever, ever, ever get a day off. He comes to the renewal of Karen thing, and he shows himself for like 5 minutes at best, and then you didn't even know he was leaving. And then the reunion, y'all kind of know about the reunion way ahead of time. He couldn't say to his boss, can I get 24 hours I got something to do and I'll be right back. If you say he cannot, Robin, okay, we'll roll with that. But I just can't imagine that every coach out there, they like never, ever, 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 ever get a day off. But if you say so, we'll roll with that. I do appreciate G when the husbands came out. He told Ashley, if I hurt your feelings, I apologize. And that was that. And Ashley, she did accept his apology. Now, here's the thing with Mia. I think when you are watching the show, and even for me, I love to talk junk. I be talking at the TV like if that was me, she would have never said that to me. I would have did the But we all know the real truth is you really can't say how you would for sure respond in a situation unless you have been in that situation before and know what that situation is like. I do wholeheartedly believe that, you know, in the moment, things happen and the film is constantly rolling. So they can't do a retake. It's like that's what the producers got. And now you're going to have to deal with it. But Mia is a hot mess disaster. A whole hot mess disaster on the social media. Okay. She wanted to joke around and accuse, what's the name? Candace's husband, you know, Chris, of trying to hit at her or talk to her, whatever. And see, here's the worst thing that happens. It's almost like, you know, just childish. When you're young and you're in grade school and someone would say something and they was getting under the skin, the best thing you can say that would trigger everybody, you know, people would be like, your mama. Because that was like a trigger word to set everybody off and really piss everyone off. I really feel like Mia is kind of responding in a similar way. She gets backed in the corner. She cannot find her words. And so she'll just say whatever, whether it's truth, lies, or, you know, she just rolls her mouth with whatever. So they called her out on the fact of her saying, you know, that Chris wanted her. And they was like, nah, that never happened. He was like, no. So she's a hot mess disaster on social media. But Giselle also had to say she was just joking when she said something about Karen being in people's DMs. So I say all that to say what? I do want to roll with Candace for 1 minute and say, you know, why is it they can do stuff and then it's a jokey joke, but when Candace do it, they want to drag her for filth and say she's cutting to the white meat. Again, it goes back to what Candace was saying. We all do it, but for some reason, when Candace does it, it's the end all be all. And I'm not quite getting that. So let's move on, okay? Let me see. This was not the most ridiculous thing I ever heard of, and I'm wondering why we're just now hearing about it. So Andy asked, you know, to Ashley and really to Robin about why their men do not wear their wedding rings. Well, again, with Juan, they're not married. So I didn't need for Robin to really answer that because it kind of is not relevant and it doesn't matter. But for Ashley, it does matter because her and Michael are actually married. So her answer was that he has some disease or condition. I never heard of it in my life. I can't even pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try. But he has some disease where he cannot put an actual ring, you know, on his fingers. Okay. So let's roll with that. And let's go on the side that Ashley is telling 100% truth. It doesn't, to me, have to physically be a ring. I don't give a darn. Tie a little ribbon around your finger. I'm not into tattoos, but many are. Get a tattoo of a wedding band on your ring finger as a symbol of your marriage and your love and your relationship. Okay, Ashley, you want to say it's a condition. I say the only condition that he has is that he loves to be with whomever, whenever, and however. And the way he gets these people is by portraying that he is single, and that's why he never wears his wedding band. But those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. But I thought her story was absolutely ridiculous. So what else do I have to say about this reunion part 4? Towards the end, we get, before I get towards the end, I'm looking at my notes here. So Andy asked Eddie, how did you feel about all of the rumors that were brought up about you, cheating pretty much, having this side baby, and it was based off of a blog that normally just tells lies just to be sensational. So Eddie pretty much was like, I'm paraphrasing, guys. He's like, it is what it is. So Andy asked Giselle, do you want to apologize to Eddie? I thought this was messed up. She's like, no. Nope. I already said it wasn't true. I have no more to say. And I'm like, wow. So here's the deal. I'm thinking to myself, you apologize to the Grand Dame. You want Candace to apologize for every single transgression and everything that comes out of her mouth. Like everything. But now here it is. It's a simple apology to Eddie. And you like, nope. How petty. How ridiculous. How low. But what can you do? It is what it is, right? And then Mia did make a good point, even though I think Mia is just trying too hard. I wish she would be herself. Mia made a good point. You're going to bring up a site that said that my husband was cheating on me with someone in his practice and had a side baby. And it's the same blog that said that you had an STD, that you paid Jamal $100,000 to be your man last season. You didn't bring none of that up. You just brought up, the part about me. If you were not trying to be malicious and sensational, you would have said, you know what? This blog is saying XYZ about Wendy. Not only do I not believe it, but I really don't believe it because they told lies on me. But instead, you brought up the rumor and then you tried to throw a little caveat behind it by saying you don't believe it in this fine print, okay? So the big print was that she's, her husband is cheating on her and she probably got her body done because, to compensate for all of this. And the fine print was, I don't believe it. So Giselle, on Mia's note, and I think Mia could be messy too, you were messy for doing it and saying it that way. But let's move on. So we end, and the big announcement, the big wow moment is that Nicki Minaj comes out to host, part of the show. Andy told her, you don't have to be biased because you're not me. You can take sides, pick sides, and pretty much you have the floor to do whatever you want, pretty much however you want. And I'm paraphrasing, guys. So she came out telling ladies, look, I've been watching from the beginning. I love you guys, okay? And then she says, to Ashley, pretty much was saying to Ashley that she was Giselle's lapdog. She came and didn't want to leave her boys, and she comes to the situation where her breast milk. And was she doing it just because she didn't have a storyline and she needed some airtime? So right out the gate, she just threw grenades, bombs, and all kind of stuff at, Ashley. Well, this is what's shocking to me. Candace immediately came to Ashley's defense. And I'm saying to myself, well, Candace, 2 seconds ago, you wouldn't even apologize to this girl. You was calling her forehead and all that. And now you're coming to her defense. Well, one, I like the fact that Candace did come to her defense. She's like, look, we got to work. So this girl needed to do what she had to do. She said she just had a baby 2 weeks ago and we need to work. Because Nicki was saying, well, you should have stayed home. And no, Candace like, yo, we need to work. So I do appreciate the fact that Candace came to her side, but that also told me, like, Candace, stop. You're taking up for baby girl right now, and I like it wholeheartedly, 100%. So why can't you just apologize and forgive the chick for writing this letter, and let's move on? Well, from what they showed us, Nicki Minaj or Indiana is going to really ask the girls some real questions and get into it. So reunion part 4 next week. You know, time will tell. We shall see. My hopes are not all the way up. The whole reunion, I would say, I mean, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Only because I love the Real Housewives of Potomac. But if I was not such a fan and I just happened to catch it, you know, as a new person, I wouldn't rate it that high. I would be like, according to this, I'm not missing much. You know, just looking at the reunion. If I was a non-fan, I'd probably give it a 3. So I'm hoping that reunion part 4, we would get bumped up to maybe me rating it as a 6 or a 7 out of 10. If you saw it, guys, chat with me in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you felt about this reunion. And yes, for sure, Juan and Michael definitely have reunion-itis, okay? I don't think they're ever going to show up. I think every time there's a reunion, as long as Ashley is still on the show and Robin is still on the show, their husbands will never be seated in the chair behind them again. And if they are, I will seriously be shocked and probably fall all the way out on the floor. And that is why you got to give it to G. Even though Andy didn't ask him many questions, you got to give it to G and you got to give it to Chris. They showed up. They showed up. So thanks, guys, for watching. Chat with me in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video.